My wife left me for a guy she claimed prioritized her, then cleaned out our joint account. Hey Reddit. So I'm Ethan, 38, and I'm pretty sure I'm living in some kind of nightmare. I always thought Olivia and I were solid. I worked my ass off building my company, thinking I was providing for us, building a future. She always said she was happy. Turns out, behind my back, she was apparently miserable, and now I'm homeless. She blindsided me with a text. A text, said she found someone new, didn't even have the guts to tell me to my face. She changed the locks. Her brother's been whispering in her ear, poisoning her against me. This whole thing feels so orchestrated. I'm starting to think this is about more than just some new guy. What the hell do I do now? I landed back in Connecticut after a grueling business trip, exhausted but happy to be home. I was looking forward to seeing Olivia, maybe cracking open a bottle of wine and just relaxing. Pulled into the driveway, reached for my keys, and they wouldn't turn. The lock was different. Brand new. My stomach dropped. I tried the back door, the side door all locked. I rang the doorbell, pounding on the door, yelling Olivia's name. Nothing. Then my phone buzzed, a text from Olivia. I've found someone who prioritizes me. Don't come back. Don't come back, my own house, the house we bought, the house I busted my ass for. I felt a wave of nausea wash over me. I sank down onto the porch steps, staring blankly at the perfectly manicured lawn, the flowers Olivia loved so much. It all felt so surreal, like a bad dream. I called her over and over, went straight to voicemail. I texted back, pleading with her, asking her what the hell was going on. Just a few hours ago, we were texting about what kind of takeout to order when I got back. Now this, finally she responded. One word. Lawyer, lawyer, what the actual F? I called her again, the panic rising in my chest. This time she answered, but it wasn't the Olivia I knew. Her voice was cold, distant. She said she didn't want to talk, that her brother was handling everything and that I needed to speak to him. Her brother. That condescending prick. He'd always been jealous of me. I could hear him in the background, whispering to her, telling her what to say. Ethan, you've been so distant, so focused on work. You haven't been there for me, she parroted, her voice flat, emotionless. It was like she was reading from a script. This is for the best. For the best, I wanted to scream. I felt like I was having a heart attack. My hands were shaking, my vision blurry. I couldn't breathe. She hung up. I was left sitting there on the steps of my house, completely and utterly alone. Okay, so I finally managed to get Olivia's brother, Mark, on the phone. My hands were still shaking. I was pacing in front of some sterile airport hotel, trying to keep it together. Mark, what the hell is going on? What's Olivia doing? Ethan, he started, his voice dripping with fake concern. I think we both know this has been a long time coming. A long time coming. We were texting last night. She was asking what I wanted for dinner. My voice cracked. I was losing it. Come on, Ethan. You've been neglecting her, working all hours. You think a few texts make up for that? Neglecting her. I'm providing for her, building our future. I was shouting now, drawing stares from the other hotel guests. Is that what she wants, though? Or is that what you want? Mark's tone was condescending, like he was talking to a child. Olivia deserves someone who's present, emotionally available, someone who prioritizes her. Present. I was working my ass off for us. Wasn't that being present? Wasn't that prioritizing her? I wanted to punch him through the phone. Mark, just let me talk to Olivia, please. I tried to keep my voice calm, but the desperation was creeping in. She doesn't want to talk to you, Ethan. She needs space. He paused, then added, with a smugness that made my blood boil, she's happy now, something you clearly haven't been able to provide for her. Happy with the guy she met 2 weeks ago at some yoga retreat, the guy she's known for all of 5 minutes. The guy she's now living in my house with. Rage pulsed through me. This is about the company, isn't it? I blurted out, the realization hitting me like a ton of bricks. This is about the ownership transfer. You've been asking about it for months. Mark laughed, a cold, hollow sound. Don't be ridiculous, Ethan. This is about Olivia's happiness. You're just projecting your insecurities. Insecurities. He was talking about insecurities, this manipulative, parasitic excuse for a human being. I wanted to scream. I wanted to break something, but I knew deep down that any outburst would be used against me. Just tell her. My voice trailed off, the fight draining out of me. Just tell her I love her. I'll pass on the message, Mark said, his voice dripping with insincerity. Then he hung up. I stood there, phone clutched in my hand, staring blankly at the hideous hotel carpet. I felt numb, empty. This wasn't a normal marital spat. This was something else entirely, something sinister. And I was starting to realize just how deep this rabbit hole went. 2 days later, I'm officially broke, cleaned out. My world is imploding. I checked our joint savings account this morning, the one we were supposed to use for the down payment on the lake house Olivia always wanted. Gone, every single penny, emptied. I'm sitting here in this crappy hotel room, staring at the online banking page, my heart pounding in my chest. I feel like I'm going to be sick. How could she do this? This wasn't just about leaving, this was about destroying me. I called the bank, frantically trying to understand what happened. The representative, bless her heart, was patient but ultimately unhelpful. Sir, the account was jointly held. Either party had access to the funds. No shit, lady, but this was theft, grand larceny. I tried calling Olivia again, but her phone went straight to voicemail. I left a message, my voice shaking with rage and despair. Olivia, what the hell did you do? You stole our money, this is our money, answer me. Of course she didn't call back, then it got worse, much worse. My phone started blowing up with texts from friends, family, even former colleagues. Dude, is this true? I can't believe you do this to Olivia. What a scumbag. I had no idea what they were talking about. Then someone sent me a link to a Facebook post. It was from Olivia's sister, Sarah, a drama queen of epic proportions. The post was a public letter to Olivia, praising her bravery for leaving her abusive husband. Abusive? I've never laid a hand on Olivia in my life. The comments were filled with vitriol, people I thought were my friends piling on, condemning me, calling me a monster. I wanted to crawl into a hole and die. This isn't just a divorce anymore. This is a public execution. They're trying to ruin me, destroy my reputation, make me out to be some kind of villain. And I'm starting to realize I can't just sit here and take it. I need to fight back, I need a lawyer, I need to protect myself. This isn't just about the money anymore, it's about my life. My sanity, my future. I'm starting to get panic attacks, I can't sleep. I can barely eat. This is a nightmare, I need to wake up. Someone please tell me this is just a bad dream. So I finally broke down and talked to Mr. Henderson, the soon-to-be retired CEO. He's been a mentor to me since I started at the company. Always had my back. I was hesitant at first. Didn't want to air my dirty laundry, but I was at my breaking point. I couldn't sleep, couldn't eat, couldn't focus. I was a mess. I went into his office, closed the door, and just spilled it all. The locked out of my house thing, the emptied bank account, the social media smear campaign, the whole 9 yards. I didn't even try to hold back the tears. Mr. Henderson listened patiently, didn't interrupt, just let me get it all out. When I was finished, he sat back in his chair, looking at me with this mix of concern and something else. Almost like recognition. Ethan, he said, his voice quiet, I'm so sorry you're going through this. But there's something you need to know. My heart sank. What now? Was there something else they were going to throw at me? Olivia's brother, Mark, he's been asking a lot of questions about the company, Mr. Henderson continued. About the valuation, the ownership transfer, he's been unusually nosy. I just stared at him, my mind racing. Mark, asking about the company. I'd brushed it off at the time, figured he was just being his usual nosy self. But now, he even tried to get access to some confidential documents, Mr. Henderson added, shaking his head. I shut that down, of course, it didn't sit right with me. Suddenly, all the pieces clicked into place. The timing of everything, Olivia's sudden change of heart, the emptied bank account, the smear campaign, it wasn't just about some new guy. It was about money, about and why money. Mark had been planning this. He'd been manipulating Olivia, poisoning her against me, also he could get his hands on my company. Holy shit, I whispered, the realization hitting me like a physical blow. Mr. Henderson nodded grimly. I'm afraid so, Ethan, I think you're being played. I felt a surge of something, not quite relief, but clarity, validation. For weeks I'd been questioning my sanity, wondering if I was somehow to blame for all of this. Now I finally understood, it wasn't me, it was them. I don't know what to say, I stammered, my voice choked with emotion. Say nothing, Mr. Henderson said, placing a hand on my shoulder. Do something, get a good lawyer, protect yourself, and don't let them get away with this. And in that moment, something shifted inside me. The self-pity, the despair, it started to fade, replaced by a cold, hard resolve. I wasn't a victim anymore, I was a fighter, and I was going to take these bastards down. This wasn't just about my marriage anymore. It was about my life, my livelihood, my future, and I wasn't going to let them steal it from me. This changes everything. I was already a wreck. Sleepless nights, panic attacks, barely eating. My own wife had robbed me, thrown me out of our home, and launched a smear campaign that had half my contacts believing I was some kind of monster. I was starting to feel like I was losing my mind. Then came the final blow. The one that pushed me over the edge. I was scrolling through Facebook, morbidly curious to see what fresh hell Olivia's family had cooked up when I saw it. A screenshot of a text conversation, supposedly between me and some woman I'd never even heard of. The texts were explicit, talking about an affair, about how I was planning to leave Olivia after the company ownership transfer went through. Except, I never sent those texts. They were fake, deep fakes. My blood ran cold. Then I saw the caption, written by Mark, that slimy, opportunistic excuse for a brother-in-law. Just so everyone knows the real reason Ethan's wife left him. He's not the victim he pretends to be. That was it, the final straw, the absolute breaking point. My stomach churned. My hands clenched into fists. I could feel the rage boiling inside me, a white-hot fury that threatened to consume me. This wasn't just about money anymore. This was about my character, my reputation, my entire life. They were trying to destroy me, and they were doing a damn good job of it. In that moment something snapped. The despair, the self-pity, it vanished, replaced by a cold, hard resolve. I felt a strange sense of calm wash over me, a clarity I hadn't felt in weeks. I wasn't a victim anymore. I was a warrior. I closed my laptop, took a deep breath, and picked up my phone. I called my lawyer. "We're going to war," I said, my voice shaking with a newfound strength. "And I'm not going to lose. This changes everything. They wanted a fight. They were going to get one. They messed with the wrong guy. All right, Reddit, buckle up, because this is where the real shit begins." I knew I couldn't just wallow in self-pity anymore. These vultures were circling, picking me clean, and I was done being their meal. It was time to flip the script, time to become the predator. First things first, I lawyered up. Found a shark, a real pit bull, the kind of guy who eats nails for breakfast. I told him everything. The fake texts, the emptied bank account, the smear campaign, Mark's suspicious questions about the company, the whole enchilada. He listened, he nodded, and then he said the words I'd been longing to hear. "We can win this." Then we got to work. This wasn't some emotional outburst. This was a strategic takedown. We started gathering evidence. Bank statements showing the money transfer, the deepfake texts, screenshots of the social media posts, everything. We even hired a forensic accountant to trace the missing funds. Turns out, Olivia had transferred the money to a newly opened account in Marquez' name. Jackpot. Next, I went dark. Deleted my social media, changed my phone number, severed all contact with Olivia and her family. No more pleading, no more begging, no more trying to reason with them. They wanted to play dirty. Fine, two can play that game. I was going to starve them of information, let them stew in their own lies. But the real game changer, Mr. Henderson, he was retiring, so he had nothing to lose. He provided sworn testimony about Mark's attempts to access confidential company information, confirming my suspicions that this whole thing was a setup from the start. Boom. Checkmate. I knew this wasn't going to be easy. I knew I was risking further public humiliation, a protracted legal battle, maybe even losing everything. But I also knew something else. I was right. And I wasn't going to back down. The emotional preparation was the hardest part. I had to detach, become a machine. Any emotional outburst, any sign of weakness would be used against me, so I compartmentalized. I focused on the facts, the evidence, the strategy. I treated this like a business deal, a hostile takeover. My marriage was over, but my life was. I had to protect myself, my company, my future. I started working out, eating healthy, meditating. Anything to keep the panic attacks at bay, to clear my head, to stay focused. I knew I was in for a long fight. But for the first time in weeks, I felt a flicker of hope. A sense of purpose. I wasn't just reacting anymore, I was acting. And that, my friends, made all the difference. I was ready. Bring it on. The air in the mediation room was thick with tension. My lawyer, Mr. Steele, a man built like a brick shithouse with a voice to match, sat beside me. Across the table sat Olivia, looking pale and fragile, and Mark, his usual smug grin plastered across his face. He clearly thought he had this in the bag. He was about to get a rude awakening. "Let's cut the bullshit, Mark," I said, my voice calm and steady, a stark contrast to the turmoil raging inside me. "You know why we're here." Mark chuckled, the sound grating on my nerves. "Ethan, always the drama queen. Olivia simply wants what's rightfully hers." "Rightfully hers," I raised an eyebrow. "Like the $500,000 she transferred into your account 2 days after leaving me," Mark's smile faltered. Olivia's head snapped up, her eyes wide with shock. "What?" she whispered, looking at her brother. Mr. Steele placed a thick folder on the table. "Bank statements, Mr. Peterson, clearly showing the transfer of funds from Mr. and Mrs. Miller's joint account to an account solely in your name." Mark stammered, trying to form a coherent sentence. That's a loan. Olivia needed some money and I helped her out. A loan? I laughed, a cold, humorless sound. You didn't even draw up a loan agreement, Mark. That's not how loans work. Mr. Steele slid another document across the table. And these, Miller, are the deepfake text messages your brother created, alleging an affair on Mr. Miller's part. He then presented a sworn affidavit from a digital forensics expert confirming the fabrication. These were then disseminated on social media with the clear intent to damage Mr. Miller's reputation. Olivia's face crumpled. She turned to Mark, her voice trembling. Mark, is this true? Did you make those texts? Mark's face was ashen. He opened his mouth to speak, but no words came out. He was trapped. I leaned forward, my voice low and menacing. You thought you could manipulate Olivia, use her to get your hands on my company. You thought you could ruin my life and get away with it. I paused, letting the silence hang heavy in the air. You were wrong. Olivia burst into tears, burying her face in her hands. Mark, why? Why would you do this to me, to us? Mark finally found his voice, but it was weak, pathetic. I just wanted to help you live. He was neglecting you. He didn't appreciate you. Shut up, Mark. Olivia screamed, her voice raw with pain and betrayal. You lied to me. You manipulated me. You used me. The power dynamic in the room had shifted. The smug confidence Mark had exuded just moments ago had evaporated, replaced by fear, panic. He was drowning, and I wasn't throwing him a lifeline. I looked at Olivia, her face streaked with tears, and felt a pang of something. Pity, maybe, sadness, but the anger, the betrayal was still too raw. I turned back to Mr. Steele. Let's wrap this up, I said, my voice devoid of emotion. I think we've made our point. As we left the room, I didn't look back. This wasn't the ending I wanted, not by a long shot. But it was the ending I needed. I had exposed the truth, protected myself, and taken back control. And in that moment, that was enough. It's been 6 months since that brutal mediation session. The fallout was messy, to say the least. Mark, of course, denied everything at first, but the evidence was overwhelming. He's facing multiple felony charges, including fraud and defamation. Olivia is cooperating with the authorities. She lost everything. Her dignity, her reputation, and yeah, me. I know some of you will say I should feel sorry for her, but honestly, I don't. She made her choices. She trusted the wrong person. And we both paid the price. The divorce was finalized a few weeks ago. It was brutal, draining. But I came out of it relatively unscathed, all things considered. I retained full ownership of my company and recovered a significant portion of the stolen funds. It wasn't everything, but it was enough to start rebuilding. As for the social circle, well, let's just say it's a lot smaller these days. Some people apologized, admitted they'd jumped to conclusions. Others, not so much. Some still believe Mark's lies, still see me as the villain. It stings, sure, but I've learned who my real friends are. Mr. Henderson especially has been a rock. He's officially retired now, but he still checks in on me, makes sure I'm doing okay. He's become like a father figure to me. I'm grateful for his support. I'm in therapy now. Working through the trauma, the anger, the betrayal. It's a long process, but it's helping. I'm learning to prioritize my well-being, to set boundaries, to recognize the red flags I so blindly ignored. I'm learning to trust my gut again, and I'm slowly, cautiously, starting to rebuild my life. I'm not the same person I was 6 months ago. I'm more guarded, more cynical maybe, but I'm also stronger, more resilient. I've learned that sometimes, the people you think you know best are the ones who can hurt you the most. I've learned that trust is a precious commodity, not to be given lightly. And I've learned that even when everything seems lost, there's always a way to fight back, to rebuild, to reclaim your life. So Reddit, tell me, have you ever been betrayed like this? How did you cope? What did you learn? I'd love to hear your stories. Maybe we can all learn from each other's experiences.